Hello, this is Retro Marky, and this is a follow-up to our last video where we looked at the TheC64, and I've got it down there below camera. And what I thought I would do is, after the last video I had quite a few messages and comments, some nice, some funny, and some asking some good questions like, Retro Marky, why can't you get the demos to work? Well, actually I have got the demos to work. So it turns out that you need to append an underscore and capital AD to your disk images, and they will actually work. So I've made a little quick video here, and I'm going to explain how to make those changes, and then we're going to put it on the TheC64, or the Commodore Maxi as some people like to call it. So I guess I ought to call it the Maxi? No, I don't think so. Anyhow, so on with the show. Let's have a look at how we're going to do this. So here we are, firstly at the website itself, which is called retrogames.biz, and you'll see introducing the TheC64. Click on Find Out More, and then go to Manuals, and here we've got the user manual, which you can download. Once you've done that, you'll have a PDF like this one. And now what we want to do is scroll down to all the way down to chapter 8, which is about loading and compatibility. It's quite a concise manual, I'll give them that. I'm pretty impressed. I didn't realise you could do things like remap some of the buttons and things like that. So okay, so here's a list of the compatible file types: D64, D81, G64, D82, CRT and TAP. And what we want to do, so we've got the fast loader description here, we want to turn that off. And here we've got what's called flags, so you can see here J1 and J2. Now these you can append to the disk, the name of the disk, with an underscore, and that will set to force joystick port 1 or 2. Now with the TheC64, as far as I know, it doesn't matter which USB port you use, it will default to the right port, but don't quote me on that. So here's an example of a file that's being appended with three different things: M6, TP and J1. M6 actually says it's a Commodore 64, not a VIC-20. TP is that it's a PAL machine, not NTSC, and J1 is joystick 1. So there's three different appendices there. Okay, I feel like a doctor talking about appendixes and appendices, but I'm not. So what we're interested in though is AD, and this enables accurate disk mode, slower loading times but more accurate disk drive loading. This applies only to D64 or G64 files, and could prevent other files from loading correctly, so we want to bear that in mind. So what we're now going to do is go to the USB stick, and here's our stick here. So I put some demos on here and a few other bits and bobs, action replay and a few other things, and you can see for example with Deus I put an underscore AD and underscore AD on disk 2, and that's what we need to do with these demos and any games that don't load properly. Just an example here, it's not difficult to do. See if I've got one I haven't done yet. Yeah, here's one here. Oops, no, I don't want to delete. No. Rename underscore AD. Yes, I do, thank you. Also missed the dot. Be careful to make sure you don't delete the dot D64 or the dot. Yes, get on with it. You can tell I'm a very patient person. So do that again, underscore AD and underscore AD here as well, and voila, we are good to go to the machine. So no, we're not, because we didn't put a dot, so be very careful. That will definitely crash. And there we go. In fact, you can see on my machine at least, you get the Commodore logo back. That's because it's linked to the Vice emulator. So if you've done that like me, then that'll be good and dandy. There's a couple of other things. You can put RO to make sure it's read-only, so you can't write over a disk. You can also use CD, which tells the machine that that each disk is part of a multi-load, and that will prevent game saves from going onto the wrong disk. So it will make sure they go onto disk 1, which is presumably where the game expects to find the save file. And you can do a few other things, like for the VIC-20, change the amount of memory you've got, because some games need certain amounts of RAM, etc. You can read this yourself. There's one other thing that I'm not really interested in looking at, if I can find it. I think it's further down, and it mentions if none of this works, you've still got one more solution, which is fairly complicating, and I think it's just here. Yeah, it's called CJMs, and it can use a file that applies to all files in a folder, particularly useful for multiple files that you wish to apply the exact same settings for. So you've got to create these files. Yeah, it's not something I'm going to look at least not in this video. So let's go back to the machine itself and continue. Okay, so one thing to bear in mind is that we're going to have to use the not carousel mode. So the standard, we have to make sure the machine is ready for that. We also need to turn off the speed loader here, so I'll do that now. And then what I'm going to do is switch to classic mode, and we're good to go. Right, so now that's reset. Let's try again let's try a different demo. This one, Edge of Disgrace. So I remember in my video I mentioned 8.75 out of 10. The demo's working, it's now a 9.37. Because, you know, it could always be improved just a little bit. And I've been thinking about this, it'd be a great replacement for someone who used to have an old machine, or still does, with a bunch of cartridges and floppy disks, and wants something a little bit more modern, easier to pull in and out. Oh, that's what she... why is this not working then? Maybe I need to give it a bit more time, but I'm not seeing any disk access. Maybe just need to be a little bit more patient, said the doctor. Yeah, I've really got to stop trying to put jokes in these videos. I'm not funny. Right, I don't have the patience. Let's make sure we do a proper reset. And we'll try another demo then. There. So that's now there, load, blippity star, comma 8, comma 1. So, as good as this is, there are a few things missing. I haven't noticed any SID emulation choices between 6581 and 8580. I'm assuming, as it looks like a bread bin, that it's 6581. Some of the sound does distort a bit, but there are some other commands besides the one I showed you for discs that apparently sorts out some of the sound. I have noticed some distortion on probably samples and high range, you know, when the music goes very, very high at the scales, but overall I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not sure whether you can have other disk drives. That might be a nice feature. It looks okay. In some ways I don't know why they put the VIC-20 only and not maybe other systems like the 128, but then I suppose the keyboard is, yeah, no, well, yeah. So there we go, fantastic demo this one, and working. So it seems like it's best to reset the system and then insert a new disk once the memory's been cleared out. I guess that's what I presume that's what it's doing. So that's all good. And I've shown you the disk swapping. One more demo just to prove a point, and then I'm going to show you some fast loaders quickly. So let's pop that in, go back, press again, options, clank clank reset. So I think this will work okay from here doing this reset way. The retro marquee reset way. Yep, disk is on, it's altered, supposed to run anyway. Ah, it's just answered my question, it is a 6581 then. Good to know. I always find the 6581's warmer, but I don't think it sounds good with a lot of samples, and a lot of modern demos are done for the newer SID chip now. It doesn't make that much difference, but this is a wonderful demo, it's called Lunatico. So yay, demos are working. About time, isn't it? So, it's a shame to interrupt that, but I'm gonna, okay, that's the easiest way then, so quit out, reset, then go back in. That's what don't say that. Media access, I want to try, now the other thing is this will work not just on demos but on any disk that doesn't work, so there's no need to show you any more. These two are RGCD, so these work fine, and these are the mini versions anyway. If you download or buy the game as an original, you should get that version, so there's no need to test that. I'm slightly intrigued by Action Replay. Doesn't want to do that for some reason, even though that should be a CRT. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? Shouldn't be a problem. Let me just try. Do I need to eject that? It shouldn't make a difference, but maybe it does. No, it doesn't make a difference. I'm not sure why that's not. I should be able to use that as a CRT. And Jiffy's a PRG. What we could do then, let's go back to the carousel. Aha! Oh, that's something interesting. So you can't put a cartridge in, or PRG or whatever, unless you're in the carousel. Interesting. So let's see if this works. Utilities, drive A, yep, format, etc. Probably don't want to do that. And we've got a fast load. So now the question is, how does that work? Oops, don't want to save it. Back. Save load. I can't actually put a disk in that. So what else can we do? Let's have a look. Utilities, DOS commands, etc. Copy disks, so it's not really going to help much. It's not really much point in using this, I don't think. Device not present. Okay, we've got no disk in there. So you'd obviously have to put a disk in, blank disk in first. Yeah, and the fast load, as I said, there's no disk now, I don't think. No, I took it out. Yeah, I did. So that's it. Back at the carousel. What about another fast loader, just out of interest? This is the Epix fast loader cartridge. Yeah. So it's there, but we've got no disc, of course. So what we could do, if we exit, go back to classic. Now this could be, yeah, no it won't. There might be a way around that, but I'm not sure what it is. if I did, I would tell you, and I will tell you if I figure that out. That might bug me a bit. Let's try Sam's Journey, just because, I mean, I tested that earlier, that was fine. Clankety clank. And run. Should be good to go. Yep, disc is firing away. If only you had a BBC micro disc drive. Finally, we've got Sam's Journey working. One of the best games in the last couple of years. So the good thing is I can also show you the disc swapping, because you will need that for games like this and a lot of demos. So insert disc 2, press this button here, the fourth button, media access. That's now in. Go back again. Click OK. Of course, if you're sensible, you just get the cartridge image. I wish I could skip past this bit. Could skip past it using the power of video editing, of course. Recommend everybody to buy this game if you don't already own a copy. Et voila. I will turn this off in a second, just want to, because it's such a good game, I want to demonstrate some of its majesty. So one nice thing is in this game is you can actually pick up things as well. Try that again, shall we? Take two. So yeah, it's very much a sort of Mario slash bit of Sonic in there as well. So let's restart that, or reset that. Now, what I'd like to be able to do is, what's the easiest way of resetting the machine from here? Options, reset. So, well, I think we're pretty much good to go to finish the video. I've shown you some demos and how to get them working and proven that actually this system is working really well, despite just needs a bit of faffery, if that's a word, should be a word. I'll leave you with some Christmas tunes. Thanks again, and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if I don't do another video. I might do, we'll see. And keep the comments coming and let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to test and look into, and I will, as long as it's plausible. I might think about any other cartridges worth testing, but we've pretty much done the whole gamut. We've done PRGs, cassettes, we've now done discs and demos, and Easy Flash. So everything's working, and CRTs, of course. Everything is actually working pretty well now. So I'll leave you with a Merry Christmas. Retromarky out.